You're looking at your second place rider, Damon Huffman. We are in Arnhem, Holland. And THQ World Supercross GP is just getting ready to lap number 57, Joe Aloff. Your leader, you see him right there at the end of the picture as we went past our Tissot timing. It is Ernesto Fonseca. So Hondas are 1 and 2, and our third place rider is Andrew Short. The veteran Huffman, Moto Triple X, a good start, but not been a very good trip to Europe so far for him.
It definitely was a little bit tough the first go-around, and Huffman's one of the lankier guys, taller guys on tour. He's not like a huge muscle, you know, upper body. Andrew Short, tougher, you know, a little bit stronger in the upper body. Which way will pay off? That's the question, but Damon always known for flowing around the track.
There's Huffman, your second place rider. He's got about 4 seconds on Andrew Short. Grant Langston is now up to 4th, and Heath Voss, the winner of our first heat, has moved all the way up to 5th after a not so good start for the Minnesota rider. He now lives in Texas, but he is a Yamaha rider. He is on a YZ250, trying to talk those guys at Yamaha back in America into letting him stay on the 2-stroke as compared to the 4-stroke.
Ernie doing an awesome job carrying the flag for all of the international riders, being from Costa Rica, and also carrying the flag for the factory Honda team. You know, Ricky Carmichael watching this has got to be proud of his teammate. Ricky, unfortunately not able to be here because of a knee injury, as we see Ernie continue to work that rhythm section and looking smooth as butter.
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier, Cameron. Now that he's got a gap on Huffman, he can get out there onto that wall and carry some speed around. But if Huffman were close enough, he could get in there and block check him, and you got to be close enough to pass the guy to do a pass like that. And right now, Huffman hanging tough, but losing some yardage. And you could see just for a second there, Andrew Short starting to get into the picture.
Well, 12 laps down, and Damon Huffman riding smooth, but Andrew Short, you know, is on the gas. He had the second fastest lap time in practice. We talked about that. Definitely been focused this whole trip. He's going to go home and go back to the 125 West, where he's definitely a contender, winning in Las Vegas at the shootout. And right now, he's giving chase and seeing if he can pick it up on the Moto Triple X rider, Damon Huffman. The space is still wide open. Not a lot of racing in between riders right now at the top of the pack.
So we're continuing to watch Damon Huffman, the veteran of the Moto Triple X Honda team. He's your second place rider. Ernesto Fonseca leads. And here comes our third place rider, Andrew Short. And it looks like he's starting to make up a little bit of ground on Huffman. He's going to have to, because coming up behind is the number 8 KTM of Grant Langston, the 125 national champion, going full-time 250cc for THQ World Supercross GP this year. Right now he's up to 4th. He was second place in Spain in the mud, but that race, it was a crapshoot. It didn't count for much. It counted for everything, but you really couldn't put a lot of stock into what happened.
Well, this race going 20 laps on, you know, now a traditional Supercross track. There are 8 laps. It took a lot of strength, but this takes some fitness. And we know Grant Langston has great fitness. Andrew Short does as well. We'll see how that pays off. We're not sure, you know, what Damon Huffman's been doing as far as training, but I know he's been in Europe riding and racing and winning. You know he'd like to win this main right now.
Ernesto Fonseca is your leader. His lead has actually gotten shorter. He's down to 3.8 seconds. The gap between first and second place, Fonseca on Damon Huffman, as Andrew Short also starts closing in from 3rd. Grant Langston is your 4th place rider. In 5th place is now Star Racing Yamaha's Keith Johnson. You see Ernesto right there lapping Ryan Clark. He was involved in that tangle up with Shane Boyd early in the race, and he is a lapped rider, but right now Fonseca continuing to use the high line down through that rhythm section.
Getting those 4 right out of the gate and continuing your rhythm. He's making some space. He hasn't been able to do it on every single lap, but when he does, he definitely gets a little bit more gap from Damon Huffman. But I'm actually a little bit surprised that Damon Huffman is keeping so tight with him.
We know a lot of the top Supercross riders who didn't make the trip are watching back home, and this would be a good chance right now for us to send out all of our best wishes to David Billiman and family. Fortunately, he and Erica and their baby Charlotte were involved in a car wreck on Friday night back in California. We understand the car is totaled, but most importantly, all of the Billimans are okay, so our best wishes go out to Team Yamaha's David Billiman.
Taking a look back in the field, that was Marmont, Evans, and here Mike Brown. This is the battle back at 7, 8, and 9 currently is where Mike Brown sets, and now we move back forward to Andrew Short, still running in 3rd place and giving chase, but as you can see, not a lot of motorcycles directly in front of him. In fact, coming back the other way already, Ernesto Fonseca.
Ernesto looking to get the first win ever in 250cc racing. He's not done it outdoors. He's not done it indoors, but this would be a first for Ernesto. Of course, it'd be a first for Costa Rica. He comes through the whoops. A little squirrely right there, but keeps it going straight. He'll put another lap in the books. And now just 3 laps to go for Ernesto Fonseca.
And as he continues to lead here, the last time Ernesto won a Supercross was in the 125cc class on the West Coast in Salt Lake City. So it has been a bit of time for Ernie in the winter since it's been to the winner's circle. And I think the nerves are probably maybe starting to come up now. Ernie's probably, you know, thinking, I got to do this, I got to do this. And he's still looking great, and no bobbles is good news.
Well, he probably feels he's got Damon Huffman covered when it comes to outright speed. But very impressed by how Damon Huffman's been riding. He's putting good laps. He's keeping it straight. And right now he holds second. If Ernesto Fonseca makes a mistake, he'll be right there. See the camera angle through the whoops. He's begun to jump through instead of pounding through the whoops. And that's a little different than what we normally see. And it seems like now with just 2 laps to go, Ernesto's just taking the inside line. He's not getting out there and quadding it. And Ernesto Fonseca, not that far away from his first ever 250cc main event win in THQ World Supercross GP.
Well, this is where it looks like he's taking it safe as he gets down into the last couple laps, not quadding, going through there. And as you said, taking the whoops, those big wide whoops as a rhythm section instead of blitzing them. But if he plays it too safe, he could open up the door, some time could close in. Then if he had a bobble, because when you change your route, when you stop doing what you were doing, it's hard to keep it going. And right now, Andrew Short, taking a look at him, still looking smooth.
In case you're wondering about Short's teammate, our points leader, Daryl Hurley on the MotoWorldRacing.com Suzuki team. Hurley is in 13th place. Now the white flag has come out for Fonseca. You're watching Andrew Short. He will come through a little double. You see the line starting to groove up on the track, but he's got 1 lap to go before he makes his first podium, the 250cc Supercross racing. Ernesto Fonseca is your leader. That is your runner-up, Damon Huffman, working his way through lap traffic. And unless something happens to Ernesto, you can see him slow down a lot right there. He doesn't want to take it too easy here, Cameron.
Damon is definitely reeling him in, but Ernie has the ability to look back and see where Damon is at all times. He's basically got 2 straightaways now. He's rhythming in the whoops. Huffman coming on, but it's going to be far too little, far too late. Ernie slowing down, but coming through his first ever win, Ernesto Fonseca here in Arnhem.
There you see Huffman come across the finish line in second. Honda goes 1-2 here in Arnhem, Holland, in THQ World Supercross GP. The checkered flag is out, and rounding out our podium, Andrew Short on the MotoWorldRacing.com Suzuki.
And Grant Langston coming through 4th, just holding off Keith Johnson. They had quite a battle going on there for 4th and 5th place, and Ernesto taking the victory lap for the first time ever on the big bikes.
Been a long trip. He went from 0 points in Spain to your winner here in Arnhem, Holland. A much different race at THQ World Supercross GP for everybody, but especially for that man right there, Ernesto Fonseca.
And I'm standing right now with a very happy mechanic for Ernesto Fonseca. Kenny, what a monkey off your back. I already asked Ernesto about it. What a relief this must be for you guys.
Oh, definitely. Last weekend was definitely a bummer, but he capitalized on it, and all his hard work and training's paying off.
What did you go through this week, though, putting that bike together and preparing it for this race?
It was definitely hectic being over here, but made it happen, and everything worked out good.
You guys going to go celebrate tonight?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, job well done the last 2 weekends.
All right, thanks.
I'll tell you what, Kenny Germain and Shane Drew, the 2 representatives over here from American Honda with Ernesto Fonseca, definitely earned their money because they had to put that bike back together, and that was a tough gig. Taking a look at our Honda 250cc main event results from Arnhem, Holland, Ernesto Fonseca is your winner. Damon Huffman is second. Andrew Short, his first 250 podium, is third. And then it's Langston, Keith Johnson, Jay Marmon, Tyler Evans rebounds for seventh. Heath Voss drops down to eighth. Yamaha mounted Greg Schnell will finish ninth. And rounding out the top 10 is Doug DeHaan. So the checkered flag has fallen. When we come back to THQ World Supercross GP, Jamie Little will be talking with our winners. With our third place finisher, Andrew Short.
If you guys remember back to the Europe rounds last year, that is when Andrew Short made his debut on the 250 and raised a lot of eyebrows. And Andrew, I can say you have improved tremendously, and here you are in your first podium.
Thank you. I had a good race. I got tired. I was a little disappointed. We had a couple weeks off, so it's understanding. But yeah, last year was a good race for me. I got a lot of experience, and it seemed to help, and especially going into Anaheim. So that's why I'm here this year, and it's going good. I had a good race. I'm proud I did this, and I finished third. It could have been a lot worse, and I'm ready for Anaheim.
All right, now you got to tell me about the contact with you and Tyler. We've seen you get pushed around by some other riders. We're not going to mention names, but you seem like you're getting tougher out there.
Yeah, I learned my lesson once, and he pushed me wide. So I gave him a taste of his own medicine. I'm sorry I put him down. I don't mean to roughhouse. Brown did the same thing to me, and I was mad. So understandably, he's probably mad, but that's racing. I'm sorry I did it, but I got to do good when I race, too.
No more Mr. Nice Guy out there, right?
No, especially when Anaheim comes.
All right, Andrew, what is your plan for next year?
I'm riding 125 West and 250 East, and plan to have a good run 125 West. Last Supercross on 125, I won, so hopefully I can keep the winning streak alive.
Hey, you got a good start here. Congratulations.
Thank you, Jamie.
All right, it's always good to see this guy on the podium, always smiling.
And you know what? I think no matter what, he's always going to be one of the nice guys. Andrew Short, MotoworldRacing.com Suzuki, gets on the podium for the first time in 250cc racing. Now probably a more familiar face down on the podium. That is our second place finisher, Moto XXX's Damon Huffman.
Definitely a familiar face, a veteran of Supercross. Damon, it's so good to see you back up on the podium tonight.
Thanks a lot. You know, I've been riding really good lately. I had a great season up in Canada, and I'll be going back up there again this summer, but I've been racing over here. I've done 3 races, and I won 2 out of the 3, and feel like everything's working good for me, and I'd like to thank everyone back home, Kramer and Fannie Mae, Jay, Sean, and everyone, family and friends. Say hello to my wife, she's filming, but had a great time, you know, a lot of fun.
You having fun out there racing with Ernie and some of the guys from back home?
Yeah, I told Ernie, if I got to start with them, I said, watch out those last 4 laps because the diesel will be coming. And I started reeling him in a little bit, but that's all I had.
Well, hey, he's a happy guy. Second place. Are we going to see you back in the States next year?
For sure, in Supercross, yeah. The Nationals, I'll be in Canada, but looking forward to Supercross this year for sure.
All right, Damon. So far, so good. It's a good start. We'll see you in Anaheim.
All right, thanks a lot.
A fine ride for Damon Huffman. Solid from start to finish, but in the end, the big diesel, as he called it, didn't have enough to catch the rider out front. And our winner of THQ Supercross GP for the first time ever, Ernesto Fonseca.
You know, coming into these first 2 rounds, the pressure was on Ernesto Fonseca. He was the favorite, and Ernie, everybody expected you to win right off the bat. And what do? You don't even qualify for the main. But this weekend, things looked up.
Yeah, everything changed a little bit. You know, it's the surface is a little bit better than last week. We had a dome out here in Holland, and what can I say? My Honda was working great, and just want to thank my mechanic, my trainer, American Honda, Dunlop tires, and you know, hopefully get ready for Anaheim.
You know, I bet Ricky Carmichael's at home watching you going, yeah, that's my man. He's got to carry the flag for Honda next year.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, that's the goal. You know, Ricky's out, and that's kind of a bummer, but I've been training hard, and hopefully things will get better and better as the year goes on. This is the first one, and hopefully we'll have many more.
Well, physically, we've seen that you're bulking up quite a lot, but you're also riding flawless. You're just floating around the track, Ernesto. Every single lap, I think you quadded that jump.
Yeah, just about. I got a little tight over there and maybe halfway through the race, but, you know, that's the way it goes. You got to just work it out and try to get better as the year goes on. This is the first race for me. I didn't even get to race last week, so, yeah, I mean, Clear Channel guys did a great job. Just want to thank the Dirt Works guys, too, and see you guys at home.
So did you hear Huff Daddy's diesel coming behind you?
Yeah, I heard him. I mean, he was riding good. He was right there in my back, and he kept me honest the whole race, and deserved it.
All right, great job, Ernesto Fonseca. We're going to let these guys go back to the States, celebrate Christmas, and we'll see them again in Anaheim.
So taking a look at our point standings in THQ World Supercross GP, two completely dynamic races. When you see the results from Spain and look at them from here, nobody shares the podium, so a big shakeup. Daryl Hurley was our winner, but he did not finish in the top 10 here in Spain, or rather in Holland, and that means Grant Langston is the new points leader with 40. Tyler Evans is second with 34. Daryl Hurley is in third after winning that first round. So there's your podium after a long day and evening of racing here in Arnhem, Holland. The weather was just as bad as it was in Seville, Spain, but thankfully they got a roof on this place, and they had a perfect track. The Dirtworks crew did their best. The riders put on a good show, and Cameron Steele is just a good night of racing.
It was awesome, and you know, all three guys on the podium, when you talked to them before the race, they all were in a good mood, and I think that's one thing that's really key about these guys getting on top. They came in with a good attitude. Some people were cold, it was raining a little bit, maybe they were a little blue. These guys came in with a smile, and they're walking out with an even bigger one.
Don't forget, you can see the next round of THQ World Supercross GP on ESPN. That's on Thursday, January 8th. 3 p.m. will be the 125 class. The 250s go off at 4 p.m. But don't forget, there'll also be next day coverage on ABC's Wide World of Sports. That's 4 o'clock Eastern Time on Sunday, January 4th. And so the European leg of THQ World Supercross GP comes to a close here in Arnhem, Holland. For the riders and teams, it's back to America and time to get ready for Anaheim. For Cameron Steele and Jamie Little, I'm Davey Coombs saying so long, everyone. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.